do whatever you want with it, but you decide not to. You decide to do good. You decide to show love. You decide to give love. You decide that I'm going to make a difference. That's what a man is.
So this is Proverbs 27:22. These are just Malik's notes, but I will put the verse on the screen. Proverbs 27:22 highlights enduring the nature of a fool's foolishness. It shows that no amount of pressure, whether through punishment, discipline, or even harsh treatment, can change a fool's nature or drive out their foolish ways. Elaborate.
So what this verse means, this is not the verse, this was just my notes.
Your notes?
Yeah, this was just my notes. But what this means in Proverbs 27:22 is that a man who is foolish, right? No matter how much pressure you put on him, no matter how much you try to change him, no matter how much you try to get him to see the light, no matter how hard you try, his foolishness will never go away.
And just to segue off of that, for the women watching, you cannot change a man. If he is a leader, if he is dominant, if he is able to understand the world and love you properly, that's not something that you will do anything to deserve or reward. It's not a reward towards you. It's who he is in his heart. Now, if you and him don't align and y'all are not able to cultivate a relationship, it's going to be distant from his integrity, his character, and who he is as a man, because those are the things that you cannot instill into him. That has to be who he actually is.
Correct, which is actually leading into, my triple C's, right? Which is, one of them is committed to God honoring work. And ladies and men listening, pay attention. What does this mean, committed to God honoring work? God says work is good. Work is not evil. Work is good. Work is good.
It's like a modern thing to think that work is evil.
People think work is evil. Work is good. There's a reason why we statistically live longer the more we work. There's a reason why you see, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds playing tennis and they look like they're 50. Because the work, they're putting in work. Ladies, do not marry a man who is lazy. Because a man who is lazy is not committed to God honoring work. And God says that work is good. Work is good. Why is it good? Because when God gave Adam the Garden of Eden, he didn't just give it to him. He gave it to him so he can work the Garden of Eden to keep the Garden of Eden. He didn't just hand it to him and say, do whatever y'all feel like it. No, he gave Adam the keys to the Garden of Eden so he can work it and keep it. This is very important because this is telling you that even before the fall, men were obligated to work because God sees work as good. Work is good because it keeps you living. It keeps you alive. It keeps you occupied. It keeps you doing something. It keeps you healthy. Work is not bad. It's not evil. So do not commit or marry a man who is not committed to God honoring labor. Do not do it. And fellas, if you're getting offended by this or you don't understand this, you are who I'm talking to. You need to get off of your mom's couch, get off of the game, and do something. It's not about being a billionaire. It's not about being a millionaire. It's not about making the most money in the world. It's about getting off of your butt and doing something. Because doing something means you are honoring God. And this is more important than how much money you're making. How much money you're making does not matter. Are you doing something? Are you working? Because I promise you, a man who is not committed to work is a man who is not committed to God. And a man who is not committed to God is going to condemn his family and himself. So stop looking at work as something bad, as something evil, because it's not.
So another question for you. Why do you think the red pill community expects loyalty and purity and submission from women while openly sleeping around themselves?
Again, it's simple. Because red pill has literally, turned their backs against the word of God. It's that simple. They don't believe in what God is saying. Even the ones that say, I believe it, they don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't tell men, you could have as many wives as you want. Because how crazy, hold on.
Okay.
How crazy would it sound if we said Jesus had multiple wives? How crazy would that sound? How crazy would that sound if we said Jesus had multiple wives? You would even think that's crazy. Even the people who don't believe would think that that's crazy. So why do you think you can have multiple wives when Jesus didn't have multiple wives? You are not a better man than Jesus, and you never will be. Sorry to tell you. And if Jesus didn't have multiple wives, you for sure cannot have multiple wives. You can't even take care of yourself, let alone 3 women. This is something that is false. It's something that is wrong. It's something that has never been practiced unless it's outside of God. That's it.
They always say, well, this person had multiple wives and this person in the Bible had multiple wives. What do you say to them?
And guess what happened to all of them? Solomon, the wisest man. Samson, the strongest man. David, the holiest man. What happened to all of them? They all fell because of their sexual immortality. All of them. And you're not stronger than Samson. You're not wiser than Solomon. And you're not holier than David. So what makes you think that you're better than them, that it won't happen to you? Avoid it. Avoid the man who came before you and said, I can do this, and they failed. Look at Shannon Sharp. He has more money than probably everybody who's watching this right now. And his career is taking a downturn because of his sexual immortality, thinking he can have multiple women. Say I'm wrong, I don't care. I do not care. Men, stop listening to men that are telling you things that are false, and it's going to be your downfall.
So, summing up, what do you think is something that you'll leave men with that'll help them take this transition for anybody watching who does want to step away from the red pill space and understands or feels conviction with what you're saying? What's the first step for them? Because obviously they might have questions and they feel lost and they are looking for someone for guidance. What would you say?
The first thing I would say is unsubscribe. And if you even have to, block the people that you are following that are sending you these false messages, that are telling you these false narratives, because you don't need to see it anymore. So the first step is block it and unsubscribe, because it's going to tarnish your brain. It's going to brainwash your brain if it already hasn't. That's the first step. Second step, I would say, find someone that you know or you know of who you can ask their opinion. That's the first step.
What qualifies a man to have a valid opinion, though?
What qualifies a man?
Yeah, like, I mean, I know you just spoke about it in the video, but for clarity, if they're looking for a mentor, if they're looking for a man that they want to, take after and, looking for his advice and stuff, what should they look for within that man to know that this is a reliable source?
Okay, so 2 answers to that. Because it would just depend on who you can find, right? So there's the man who's single, and then there's the man who's married. And they have 2 different qualifications, right? The man who's single, right? It's okay that he's single and you can ask him for leadership, you can ask him for mentorship, right? But he has to, like I said, be God-fearing. He has to be in the church. He has to have leadership skills. He has to embody everything that Christ is telling him to embody. So not only does he have to be able to lead other men, look at his life and see if his life is leading the proper direction, leading into the proper direction. Look at his life and see if it's leading into the proper direction. Is he involved in the church? Does he know the 10 Commandments? Does he seek other help? You know, because men who are truly trying to understand, they don't think that they know it all. They go seek other people. And you may even run into this person and he may send you to someone. But you have to start somewhere with men who are at least trying to do the right thing. And where that starts is the church. That starts in the church. Period, point blank.
And what y'all have to understand is there is no differentiation in the character and the plight of a single person and a married person.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
it's all the same character.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same
when
character.
you're looking for these mentors, you don't have to look for specific people who are in relationships or who are mothers or who are fathers or who are single to align with you perfectly in the fact that you're single or you're married or you're a parent. At the end of the day, a character of a person transcends all of that.
Yeah.
What they're supposed to be doing, who they're supposed to be at their heart, at their core, doesn't differentiate based on their natural, circumstances.
Correct.
So overall, we hope and I pray that Malik helped you to understand the pitfalls that men are experiencing in our generation, and especially with this online forum. I think that he elaborated on it and articulated it in a way 10 times better than I ever could. And I hope that with a male perspective, a real man telling you what it is that you should be looking for, what it is that you should avoid, and what it is that you might be lost and longing for. I hope that with that information, it can at least put you in the right steps forward to correcting bad mindsets, bad behavior, and ultimately putting you on the right path to seeking God and his purpose for you. Anything else, babe?
Yeah, and I want to say that I feel that a lot of men know that it's wrong, and a lot of men know deep down they're searching for something else. They just don't know where to go. Mm-hmm. They look to red pill because it's not only something that they might agree with silently, but it's also because it's entertaining. They look at it because it's entertaining. They look at it because it's fun. They look at it because they might want that person's life, mm-hmm. right? But that's not worth it if you know deep down you're like, I don't necessarily agree with what they're saying, but I just like it because I like to see them make fun of these women. I don't necessarily agree with them, but I like to see them, talk funny, talk crazy. It's not worth your peace of mind on what happens in the real world, because in the real world, I promise you, these men aren't acting like this. And if they are acting like this, I promise you, if you go ask the people that grew up with them, they were never that person. They became this person because they think that's who they are now. That's not who they really are. They're lying to you. Stop following men who are telling you to abuse women and children. It's a false narrative. It's wrong, and it's not of God. Period, point blank. So men, please unsubscribe and block these accounts. Red pill is feminizing you men. And the reason that it's feminizing you is because you are idolizing, worshiping, and consuming your time into other men who are taking your money. Let me say that again, because it probably just went over your head. You are pouring your money into men you don't know. You are worshiping men you don't know. And you are consuming your life and your time to men you don't know. How is that feminizing? Why? Because That is a characteristic of a woman. Women pour their all into their husband. That's what a good wife does. Women put their all into their husband and their children. Women will give all their time to their husband. And that's what y'all are doing to these podcasters, these YouTubers, these celebrities who have these red pill podcasts. You are trying to be engaged and married to these men. You worship these men. You want to be engaged to these men. And if you don't like women, then don't date them.
Just say that.
If you don't like women, don't have kids with them. If you don't like women, become a eunuch. If you don't know what that means, go look it up.
Yeah, I agree. Y'all know what I think. Unsubscribe and block them. I mean, they don't get no more raw and cutthroat than that. Comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next one.